Thanks for staying with us. It's still International Women's Month, and we and many others are just excited, and we're basking in the euphoria of yesterday's blockbuster interview with Dr. Ibukun Awosika. Today, we have another woman of substance in the building. She's a thought leader, philanthropic management, international development, sustainability, and small and medium scale enterprise sector. Welcome with us, Osayi Alile. Welcome to
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you.
You know, we admire your work. We've seen you. I have followed you for years and see how you've really grown your business. And we're so excited to have you here because one of the things we wanted to achieve during this month is the global theme of accelerate action in different ways. And we need to accelerate action in business, in growth. I mean, Tokwa is a growth coach, he's a wealth coach, and it's important for women to take those spaces. So let us start, before we start extracting gems from you as we did yesterday. For those who don't know you, tell us a bit about yourself, because many of them know you from Wimbies, but they don't know that you are more than Wimbies. There's so much more to you than Wimbies. So tell us a bit about yourself, and then we can still take it from there.
Oh, good morning. I'm so excited to be here. And of course, for me, I've been in the sector, in the non-profit sector, and it's called the social enterprise sector for the past 23 years. And yes, I'm a woman advocate, but I'm also a proponent for pushing SMEs, and that's been my sector for the last 23 years, and it's been very exciting doing that. At the moment, I'm working in the philanthropy space, but also working with SMEs in that space, and building the bridges and making sure that businesses are growing and they're doing well, and still looking out for women as best as I can. So that's what I've done in the last few years.
So now, go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because whenever we think about social enterprise, people don't see it as a thing. We don't see it as a business. We don't see it as we've not been able to. We see NGO and think they are trying to make money for themselves, or people that are really selfless. Like there are two divides. You are either very selfless and you are broke running an NGO, or you are chopping money and you are. But we've not been able to see how social enterprise can work, where your business actually gives value to people. Can you help us? I read the book by Yunus, it was very enlightening. Before then, I didn't really understand how it would work, but can you educate us?
I didn't understand how it was working to myself, because I was more in the banking sector, and I fell upon this just by volunteering while I was doing my master's, and I realized that it's a full career, it's a whole space. And really, when you measure anywhere in the world, it's just that it's not as measured here in the world. The social sector space is almost number 2 in terms of giving and doing. And but I tell people that it's a business, regardless of how you say it. It's just a passionate business of doing good, because anything you bring in and you invest in the community, you don't take it back to spend, you take it back to give back to the community. And I must tell you, there's a lot of work being done, and we're trying to push it out there, let people see the branding of what are even some community-based organizations. We have an organization at Adamawa, 80,000 women. When we started with them, there were 2,000 women. 80,000, I'm not even exaggerating. We've gone to farming, agriculture. But you know, it's the storytelling that is the problem. You know, so we don't tell our stories, we don't tell people what kind of investments we're making. And that's why I'm using the word, the economic word. The investments that are being made in these communities for people to see it. So it's a lot of work, and a lot of people are doing it, and I'm very proud of those that have done it and that keep doing it as well.
So let me ask, I know you've mentioned some of the successes so far, but we still fall short in so many ways. What do you think is lacking from probably the organizations that are doing it? What more do you think they can do to see how we reach more women?
I think the first thing is really policies, and I think that's even across everything. If we talk about women issues today, is the problem of the policies that actually help us to bring these things out. I mean, everywhere else in the world, it's calculated, it's measured, we know. We can tell you how many percent that anybody that is doing agri, farming, whatever it is bringing into the economy. We don't have that here. So policies have to change. We have to have some guidelines, because there's a really low barrier into entering into the sector, and that barrier has to be upped a bit so that it's very clear.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody. My daddy dies. I just started an NGO. You know, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be very clear. You're supposed to measure. You're supposed to actually even do your CSC returns. You're supposed to be registered even with you know, everything is supposed to be done properly. But we haven't done it that way, and that's where the issues are. And then once we do that, so for me personally, I've worked in the sector, but I'm also trying to build the industry up as well. And it's important because the industry has to be built. Because no matter what we're all doing here or what we're doing, you can't grow past the industry.
True.
And the industry has to become an industry that people see not in a negative light or in a positive light.
I like that. We can't go past that industry. We have an industry. We gotta go past this. I love that. I'm already thinking. Yes, Ramatu.
Yeah, so I'm very happy that when you mentioned Adamawa, I was very, very happy because that's from the north. And then you said 80,000 people.
Yeah.
I want to ask you two questions, right? The first one is the 80,000. What has been the challenge so far with this 80,000? Because it's a large number. And then secondly, I want to ask, how do we move from conversations on empowering women in leadership to tangible action for women's empowerment?
I love tangible actions because a lot of times, you know, we start IWD week and everybody's like, oh, we're talking again, having conversations.
Talk.
But I will say conversations are good. If you don't talk about it, people don't know. And if you, in your mind, you sit down, you think everybody knows, but that's not necessarily true. So the more we speak, the more people know. But what we always ask after is that what next? What next? What do we leave here doing? And even just sitting down with you guys is what next. Because I've been watching for, I mean, you now said 12 years.
Yes.
And over again, every topic you brought to the table, people have become more aware. They've done something in their own corners. That's what always happens. So those are tangible actions I see. And even you mentoring other women, every lady that is watching says to themselves, I can do that as well. I can have my own
Emotions
table.
like ours, and we're so happy that all of them are replicating. That's the idea.
That's the
Please
beauty of
replicate
it.
all the way.
If I was somewhere yesterday and the lady was mentioning your show, and I said, oh, I'm going to be there tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be sitting with ladies tomorrow. And we must realize that even if there's no table, we bring the table. We bring the chairs. Let them all come. Because there are so many strong, beautiful,
Women.
advanced, enlightened women out there. We can bring them. So that's one thing. So we mentor, we coach, we bring.
Let me ask you now, we're not going to the cocoa of the matter, because can a woman be successful without shortcuts? When I say shortcuts, because people see and think, there must be something she has done. Maybe somebody that gave her something, one extra,
One sponsor somewhere.
You don't know her family. You have family. You don't know her family.
I'm just saying,
They
people
would
that who don't know your
attribute it.
family.
Yes, they will say.
So they'll think, how did you get here? How did you know this? Who's the one that is bankrolling you?
Oh gosh, I'm so glad you had Mrs. Awoshika yesterday. And you know, those are the people that there's so many. It's very possible, 100% possible. When I started in this industry, I knew no one. I didn't even understand the industry. And even when I sat down with my parents, my father kept on saying, are you sure? You only go and give back when you have plenty money and worked hard. I said, no, it's a career. People go to school. I've been to Harvard, Yale, LBS, all of the schools, just to build myself in this industry. So it's possible. It's been done by many women sitting on the table with me. And it can be done by every one of them out there. You don't have to know everyone. I mean, people say family, and I'm always telling people that you can come from a good family and not do anything. We have them, we see them all the time. But that drive, that passion to change, it must come from within. And it must be some things that you learn along the way, some mishaps that you've gone through. We all have challenges. We've all faced them. I've faced them. And in the facing of it, I've said to myself, you keep on spurring yourself to do more and to do better. And even this morning, there's challenge now. This is come go around the room. So don't think that somebody is always bankrolling a woman. Some women are bankrolling themselves.
Exactly.
And women are also helping and giving the seats at the table and helping us to do better. I mean, Miss Sawoshika was a mentor of mine when I started my career. This is almost 20-something years ago. And she's still a friend till today. So we have to handhold sometimes. We have to push sometimes. We have to break the door sometimes. We have to push some women to say, you must do better. And that's what we keep on doing.
Let me go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.